Welcome back to the Steady Show. And this time, I'm going to review something it's a subject that's very dear to my heart. The subject of narcissism. And when you talk about narcissism, my go to person on the internet is Doctor Ramani. So I'm going to introduce her to folks who feel that they struggle with narcissism. I mean, these days, every day, people are talking about narcissism. You kind of wonder, like, when did so many people become narcissists? Like, it wasn't a popular subject many years ago, but now everybody's talking about it thanks to social media, of course. So let's hear from Dr. Ramani right now.
Hey everyone, it's Dr. Ramani, and welcome back to this YouTube channel on narcissism and narcissistic relationships and healing from narcissistic relationships. So here's a question. What do you think narcissistic people do once they lose control of you? Drop your answers in the comments. I think some of you already know the answer to this because you're living it. The primary dynamics that drive a narcissistic person in a relationship are power, control, and domination. And the narcissistic
So here she is. She jumps right into it. So, three things that drive narcissistic behavior: power, domination, control. So, it's funny that people would want to control you when they don't even have control over themselves.
person uses the relationship as a source of validation. If those needs are not being met or cannot be achieved, that is a contributor to the volatility of these relationships.
Narcissistic relationships are always volatile because, listen, you're dealing with somebody that is always looking for some kind of validation because within themselves they are very, very insecure. But instead of owning that insecurity, they basically project those insecure feelings on their target, which is usually somebody that's more empathetic. And as she said, it can be very, very volatile.
So, if you are in a relationship with a narcissistic person and do get more power or control or exert your autonomy, the narcissistic person is going to react badly. So here's some examples of this. One could be that you're the adult child of a narcissistic parent and you no longer need them for money or housing, or you make your own way in the world and they were using money to control you. You are in a narcissistic relationship.
So I'm glad she mentioned the parents there because usually when people talk about narcissists or narcissistic people or behaviors coming from people, they usually look outside of their immediate environs, or they almost never seem to look at the people who raised them in the first place. And as Dr. Ramani just pointed out, in the example, there's sometimes when the parents had too much control over you and they use money as a tool. So when you get to a point where you're making your own money and you become independent, it becomes a problem for them. It's the control, which she just spoke about earlier in the video.
And you get a promotion or a new job that may put you in a more powerful or well-paid position.
Power play.
Or you leave an abusive, tyrannical, narcissistic boss to take another job or start your own venture where they cannot control you in the day-to-day anymore. The responses to this can vary. In some cases, you will see the narcissistic person try to keep you small, tell you that you're probably going to fail, or that you're kidding yourself.
And that's where the projection usually comes in, because in order to make themselves look big, they have to make you look small. I have a friend that says no one that's ahead of you ever tries to pull you back, right? It's the same dynamic in this situation. So they have to make you small in order to make themselves look big. And as she pointed out, It could be a parent, it could be a boss, and in some cases, it could be a sibling, it could be a friend. So look out for people who almost always try to put you down, just to make themselves look bigger.
You think you will be able to pull this new thing off, or that this success of yours is temporary or fleeting, or that you better be careful what you wish for because it may all be a big disappointment, and won't you feel foolish when it all
Yes.
falls apart. In some cases, you will see that vulnerable victimization we so often see in narcissism. Oh, woe is me, will say the narcissist. Everything goes your way. I guess you won't need me anymore. I guess my life has just been so unlucky. Things come really easily to you.
And I never watched this entire video before, but as soon as she says this, one thing comes to mind is that narcissists always are about the power play. And, you know, if you notice, in this case, the narcissist is actually playing the victim. In some cases, if they have to bully you in order to control you, they will do it. If they have to play the coward or the victim, they will do it. But at the end of the day, the end goal is to gain the upper hand in the relationship. And I do think when they go into that victim mode, that's when they get you kind of feeling sorry for them. But it's not that they care about you or the relationship. They're just using that dynamic in order to regain a position of power.
I always have to work hard for everything I get, that kind of thing. In other cases, you may experience abandonment. They may want to leave, say they want to leave the relationship and cut you off, give you the silent treatment, or even imply that maybe this relationship won't work because you will be so busy in your new job. Or they may go full on revenge on you. This may be, for example, a smear campaign by that tyrannical boss who tries to badmouth you, and badmouth your new endeavor, or talking with other people about you and saying bad things, or holding back that piece of information that you may need. They will actively try to sabotage you.
Actively try to sabotage you. Now, that's crazy, because here are people trying to disempower you. You would feel that, hey, so for instance, in the case where you are leaving the old boss, you'd believe that they'd be happy to get rid of you, but the goal was never to get rid of you. The goal was just to exert the power and dominance over you. And if they can't do it directly, they do it through indirect means, such as the smear campaigns and so on. Some people are really crazy. These narcissistic people, they're dangerous.
Remember what healing is about in these relationships. Finally crawling out of the subjugated space that you had to remain in to keep this relationship going. Silencing yourself, making yourself smaller, pretty much clipping your own wings, not individuating or developing your own autonomy of any kind. But healing also means, as you individuate, that you will incur the wrath, displeasure, or frank abandonment by the narcissist.
So, they will never be happy for your success, and always look out for people who are never happy for your success, people who try to sabotage your success, people who never encourage you. So, as she has said before, it's about power, domination, and control. So, yes, there are people who exercise or try to exercise control over you, just for their own gain, their own selfish motives, and so on. But these are things that you must try to avoid. So I hope that for anybody that is out there and are experiencing narcissistic abuse in any way, shape, or form, This short video with Dr. Ramani, it's really just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more that you can learn. So I highly recommend. I'm going to put the link to her video in my description so you can go ahead and watch the entire video. Also, you can go ahead and subscribe to her channel on the subject of narcissism. Remember, God loves you. You're valuable. Take control over your life and don't allow narcissists to take control over you. This is the Steady Show. If you like this video, please go ahead and leave a like, share the video, also comment on the video, and let us start a community where we can have great conversations about issues that are very, very important.